I recently splashed out and bought a Edelkrone Slider ONE and motion module, basically to give me a bit of an easier way of doing slider motions, because I find when I do it manually it's a bit jerky. So the whole idea behind this is that I can now do them smoother. Basically got it out of the box. It did seem a bit stiff. It felt like basically the storage of it had deformed the belt, so at certain points in the middle it seemed a little bit more stiff to move around, but adjusting the friction and the locking plates a little bit and getting it all set up, that seemed to ease that problem. Basically the top of it has got a 1/2 inch mount screw on there, so that means you can have a little Z plate, or sort of whatever you want, a ball head joint, whatever your connection on there. And then the motion module itself, this was a bit confusing to me. Having watched all the videos and everything else, I thought it just basically bolted on, that you just placed the Slider ONE on top of the motion module and then bolted it on, but apparently not. You do get some little, they call them belt adjusters or something like that, those little circles. So the issue straight away was that I had to dismantle the brand new Slider ONE that I'd bought, so that I could then attach it to the motion module. So that's all set up now, ready to go. That's the bit that grips onto the motion module. Not really something I think is a very good idea. I think it should be better designed so it grips better at that wheel connection point. There's also no power switch on the motion module at all, so you get your Canon style battery, put it in the bottom, and then it's on. It's just no other option. It's either on with the battery in there, or you pull the battery out and then it's off. That was a bit of a shock as well. I have to say, at this point my thoughts were that all this extra money I'd paid to get Edelkrone hadn't really kind of got me anything more than, say, Andua products that are made out of China and stuff like that. I didn't feel the quality was any better, but that aside, I proceeded to assemble it all. So you basically just screw it all up together nice and tight, obviously, so that friction plate and the slider plate all connect in nicely, and then that's roughly your module assembled. And then once you're done, basically pop the battery in. It is a bit fiddly, but yeah, pop the battery in there, and it then initializes itself and supposedly finds the A end, so that it can then go AB, AB, AB. Which is, all well and good. You get the nice app that controls the speed and all the different functions, whether you want loop mode or A to B, B to A. You can also have things like the speed control in there, so you can set it to be a slow slide, but you can also set it so that it doesn't go all the way to the A or the B end at the same speed, so it kind of like feathers in. So here it's demonstration going from A to B, and the closer it gets to B, the slower it gets. So if you look there, it just kind of slows down, eases to the end. And then on the loop mode, it is just going to loop between the two. As I've left the B end at the slower end, it kind of eases into the B end, and then it'll return at normal speed back to the A end. I then decided that I'd sort of try out how well the friction connects to each other by doing sort of like an elevated slider, an angle. So this is a Canon 5D with a nifty 50 on there, and this is kind of like an average angle you might use. It's not quite vertical, obviously, but it dealt with that weight pretty well. It didn't slow down any more than it would have done if it was on the flat, and it didn't jerk or slip or anything like that. And these are the kind of examples of the shots that you can get. Very smooth shots, something that I can't personally do using my hands. I've tried all sorts of sliders and all sorts of friction plates and fluid motion, this, that and the other, and I just can't get close to this kind of fluid motion. The operation of the device itself is fairly easy once you've done it. It's all controlled via the app. It's very quiet, so it doesn't interfere with microphones or anything in the studio, and it all seems to be very well assembled, albeit it's just not the high-end quality that I thought it would be. It's not actually that much difference than, like I say, the Andua products and stuff like that. All that being said, though, it's a nice product, and some of the features on here are really nice as well. Again, the demonstration of What this app can do is quite good about how you can pause it. So it's going to pause here at the A end for 5 seconds before it sets off, and then I've told it to feather in at the B end as well. So I'm going to ask it to go from A to B, but it's going to start off with a pause for 5 seconds, and then it's going to go to the B end, but towards the B end it will slow down so that it gets that kind of really slow gradual stop, so you don't end up with those slider actions where you just kind of get to the end and go bump. So it's been thought out quite well. There's also the time-lapse function as well, so you can actually set it up with a camera that supports the Edelkrone signal module as well, that you can plug in an external cable for shutter release, or you can just put your own camera on there and set your own camera to do a time-lapse every second it takes another frame sort of thing, and just put it on top of this whereby it will move and basically allow the camera to take a photo. This has been sped up, and ultimately get yourself a bit of a motion time-lapse effect. Then very easy to do. The only thing I would say, and it does relate back to the quality of this, I was thinking it would be something completely of a higher level quality wise than I've actually received. The calibration of the motor and the slider just seems to kind of throw wobbly every 3 or 4 slides. As you can see from this one, it basically just crashes into the B end at some stage and comes up with this slider error. You can see it as it's moving that it gets further away from the A end and closer to the B end. I've reported it to Edelkrone, and they're basically kind of looking into it as of this video going into production. As usual, all links to buy one of these if you want to are in the description down below, but thank you very much for watching my video today. I do enjoy every one of your comments, so please do comment down below, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you've not already done so. I'll catch you on my next video. Thanks very much then, bye.